This is Bob Harper. We hope you have enjoyed this production of The Skinny Rules, The Simple Non-Negotiable Principles for Getting to Thin by Bob Harper with Greg Kreitzer. This program was directed by Fred Sanders, executive producer Dan Zitt. Text copyright 2012 by Bob Harper. Production copyright 2012, Random House, Inc. All rights reserved. Random House Audio presents The Skinny Rules, The Simple Non-Negotiable Principles for Getting to Thin by Bob Harper with Greg Kreitzer. This is Bob Harper. Introduction. Eat what I tweet. Sometimes big ideas come from small places, from, say, a tweet. That's how this book came about. I was on my way back from the taping of The Biggest Loser when I got a phone call. It was from Ben, the husband of Olivia, who won season 11. "I'm following you," he told me. Pretty sure he didn't mean he was stalking me. I still had to ask what on earth he was talking about. "I'm following what you eat, your meals you post on Twitter." Ben, like Olivia, about 100 pounds overweight, went on to explain, "It's kind of my way to stay connected to Olivia. It's like being there with her." If you're not familiar with the concept of the show, let me explain a little. While taping the show, which is a contest to see who can lose the most weight, contestants are separated from their families and all their normal routines so as to break all ties with their normal eating cues. Ben had been separated from his wife for weeks by this point, and following my tweets about what we were eating made him feel a little closer. Some weeks later, at the season finale, Ben was on hand to watch and cheer for his wife, and he was noticeably thinner. He had lost about 100 pounds. We were so impressed that we put him on the show, both to share in his wife's victory and to show off his own achievement. Later, he told us all how he did it and why it worked. I just followed Bob. I watched his tweets. I listened to what he said he ate. I figured, how can I go wrong? This is what the expert is eating. And that decluttered everything. It made it incredibly clear to me what mattered and what mattered with my diet. It kind of gave me a set of rules. Bang, a set of rules. Anyone who's ever dieted knows exactly what Ben meant. Today, like never before, we are bombarded from every direction with health advice about diet, nutrition, weight loss, exercise, organic or non-organic, free range or corn-fed. Now, add in the daily science and medical news, a lot of which sounds either stunningly obvious, not being obese equals good, or ridiculously countered what we thought was correct, fruit juice equals not so good. And you've got a jumbo case of clutter brain. Clutter brain is what happens when you hear so much information about a subject that you can't make solid, reasonable decisions. In this case, about what you should eat. It's incredibly paralyzing, and just about every dieter knows what often comes with clutter brain: anxiety. And you know what that means: exhaustion, depression, and then binging. What else, at least in my experience, relieves stress and anxiety better than, say, pie? A whole pie, right? Which obviously counteracts the benefits of the advice you were trying to follow in the first place. So what if we eliminated the clutter? I began to think, what if I could come up with a list of simple, non-negotiable rules that the average Jane or Joe can follow in daily life? Rules you can always fall back on in a pinch. Rules you can use not just when you're trying to lose weight, but when you're trying to stay slender. Skinny rules. I'm certainly not the first guy to say this, but in our modern consumer-glutted world, rules matter more than ever. Why? Because our external environment no longer seems to have any firm boundaries, any limits, or any positive cues about when to stop consuming anything. I mean, there is a reason that people get fat. It's easy and cheap to get high-calorie, tasty food. If you look at statistics, more Americans than ever are eating out and eating enormous portions. Eating bad fast food, drinking huge amounts of high-calorie sodas and energy waters, and microwaving endless plastic platters of convenience food, all of which, while easy, will also make you fat, fast. But if you want to be right-sized in body, you've got to get rid of the supersized way of life. Whether you want to lose 20 pounds or 200, what the contestants on The Biggest Loser have learned and taught me holds true. You've got to make a break. You've got to divorce yourself from the past and find a different way of living, and you can never go back. Once you accept that and realize there is no finish line, then you've got a better chance of succeeding. Just like Ben, who not only dropped 100 pounds, but so far has kept it off. But wow, Bob, you say, all I want to do is drop 20 pounds. No, I don't think so. Come on, if all you want to do is drop 20 pounds, you'd surely have succeeded by now, given the glut of diet books out there, many of which are pretty good. No, if you're sitting there listening to a diet book by one of the trainers on The Biggest Loser, I think you kind of want something a little more than just dropping some weight. You want to keep the weight off. You want a way that makes sense in your real-world daily life, something convenient and healthy, something you can always fall back on, something permanent, non-negotiable, and simple. That's what I want to do with this book. Think of it as a rule book for your life as a healthy weight person, a person who can enjoy delicious food in the right portions and be satisfied. Someone who can not only resist all the jumbo cokes and supersized fries that get waved in front of our noses, but not even feel tempted by them. My intention is to take the guesswork out of losing weight for you. After the first 30 days on the program, you will have lost weight and you'll be more confident in eating and living according to my rules. By then, you're likely not going to need all of the hand-holding I provide in the book. You'll be on your way to a skinny life. Don't get me wrong, it won't always be easy. Easy does not work, but it will be liberating. Remember what helped Ben. Rules and clear instructions freed him from all the brain clutter. These principles let him make rational eating choices without being anxious. That said, I'll have you know I do have a heart. I get it that these rules are demanding and that you don't have superhuman willpower, although you have a lot more than you think. In the first 30 days especially, following all the rules may seem difficult, and depending on how much you have to lose or how you've been eating in the past, it may indeed be so. You're breaking old habits and building new ones, and that's tough. But back to my good-heartedness. I've devised what I like to call a step-down method for what most people feel are the handful of the most difficult rules. These step-downs will help you move away from an old behavior and toward a new, healthy one a little at a time. Keep in mind that this intermediary step is meant to be temporary. Strive to live the rule all the way. A new way to think about dieting. Feeling motivated to get started? Not quite so fast. Before we begin, we need to clear the deck of some big myths that might hold you in their sway. These myths are based on old dietary rules, even older nutritional science, and still older ways of thinking. In short, they persist even though they don't work. My guess is that you'll hear your own excuses, rationalizations, and assumptions coming up. But do yourself a favor and hear me out. Understanding where you've been wrong or kidding yourself will help you lose weight for good this time. You say, all I have to do is exercise a lot and the weight will come off. I say, well, yes, if you've got about 5 hours to spare every day, that 4-mile walk you take every morning, it burns about 350 calories, not even a small bag of fries at McDonald's. That hour of Pilates or yoga, ditto, not even equal to a large chai latte at Starbucks. Believe me, it took a lot to convince me of this. I used to believe I could beat anything off of you in the gym, but exercise alone without diet won't do it. And remember, you don't have all the advantages of my Biggest Loser contestants who have their own trainers for 6 hours a day and don't have to work around the logistics of everyday life while they're on the show. Don't take my word for it. Not long ago, a group of Harvard researchers tracked 1,847 overweight men and women, some of whom just exercised, some of whom only dieted. The findings were clear and, for the exercise-deluded, sobering. Our results show that isolated aerobic exercise is not an effective weight loss therapy in these patients. Got that? I mean, can 1,847 people be wrong? You say, I'm not going to weigh myself more than once a week because it will discourage me and then I will slip.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?